Welcome back, it's me, Lou. So this is going to be part 2 of my Castle Grayskull unboxing video. So what I'm going to do here is, I thought it'd be interesting to compare some of the accessories with the new Masters of the Universe Origins Castle Grayskull with the original 1980s one. I thought it'd be fun, especially if you don't have the new castle yet and you're kind of on the fence about it. It's a good comparison to see, whether or not this is something you might be into. So, let's get started. Okay, so right now I just have the floor pieces for the new Castle Grayskull. Let's take a look at those real quick. Okay, so this is the floor piece for the new Origins Grayskull. This is the second floor, and I believe it's the throne room. It looks like the throne sits in here in the socket. And then here's the infamous trap door. One thing you'll notice is that there's this beautiful wooden texture on the floor. And you have the nails kind of sculpted in. Beautiful, beautiful texture. The detail is nice and crisp. There's good, you can kind of differentiate the different floorboards with the deeper cuts. And you have the trap door here. There's a slight ridge near the edges, so hopefully the sticker place. Now I hate placing stickers, and I'm dreading putting the sticker on here because my OCD will freak out if it's not unperfect. But it's nice to see that they at least give us these little tiny ridges on the edges of it. So hopefully that'll help me place it. It looks like it's recessed a little bit where it connects to the wall. And here's how the trapdoor will work. So yeah, this is the floor for the new Grayskull. And here's the other floor. This is with the floor that has the elevator. And as you can see here, there's a cutout here. Similar detail with the floorboards and the nails. And there's some notches in here. I'm not sure what those are yet. We'll see once I get to the instructions. The plastic, this is completely flat. It's a little bit warped. I'm not sure if that's a big concern of mine yet. Like, I don't know if this is going to warp over time. I don't know if it's warped because it was in the box too long, or if it's, if it's just naturally misshapen like this. But I do appreciate this kind of plastic. This is a softer plastic. It's not like the plastic of the original, the kind of like really rigid plastic that cracks. This one's a little bit more pliable, but it's hard enough where they can sculpt really crisp detail into it. So I'm really liking the new Origins castle from what I've handled so far, and it's nice to see the floorboards actually detailed like this. It's a wonderful detail. Alright, next we have the weapons rack. Alright, so this is the new weapons rack. I believe it seems like it matches the same colors as the floor. I believe it's made of the same kind of plastic material. Once again, really crisp detail. You have the clips here for the weapons. A nice wood grain texture. And let's compare it to the classic weapons rack from the 80s Grayskull. Alright, so here's the weapons rack from the classic Grayskull. Already you can see there's a considerable size difference. The classic, so this is the classic weapons rack. Beautiful sculpted detail. You can see here there's like it's almost like the impression of like feet with these like claws. Whereas the new ones is all, it just appears to be all wood. I'm not sure how. It looks like the classic one might be able to hold more weapons just by the, judging by the amount of clips they have here. This only has 1, 2, 3 clips, a peg, and a peg on the side, and then this over here for the shield. As you compare the backs, hollow detail on both. Next up, we have this. This is from the Masters of the Universe Origins. This is from the new Grayskull. I don't know what this is yet. I gotta take a look at the instructions. I believe this might be another weapons rack, and I don't think the original one has something that corresponds with this. I take it back. There might be. This might be a. I'm looking at a photo because I have the original Grayskull, but it's in another room right now. So I thought it'd be easier if I just printed this out. I think I found this on He-Man.org. So this is the interior of the old Grayskull, and it looks like there was a cardboard cutout here of another weapons rack next to the real physical one, and I think this is supposed to be a somewhat placeholder for that. So I think I'm not 100% sure yet. I'll check the instructions, but I think this might be a secondary weapons rack for more storage. All right, next we have the infamous laser turret. So this is for the new Castle Grayskull. It looks beautiful. It's nice that they kept the design kind of simplistic. It's not like over-engineered, over-detailed. This doesn't look like something that was designed in 2021 or 2020. It looks like something that was designed in 1980s, you know, with 80s engineering. So it's nice. Now, keep in mind, this is the new laser turret. Now, here is the classic turret. All right. I'm very surprised at this. I didn't realize it, but the classic turret actually, in my opinion, looks better. Not only is the detail crisper, there's more detail if you compare them both. Wow, that's very surprising. I did not expect that. And I got to double check the instructions because, all right, so this is how this came packaged with mine, and I don't know if the turret's on backwards or not. So when I bought my classic Grayskull, this is how the turret was, and then there's the 2 feet in the back and the 1 foot in the front, whereas on the new one the 2 feet were placed in the front. I'm gonna double check. I'm gonna do an image search real quick and see how it's supposed to be on the new Grayskull. Yeah, this is kind of surprising. But if you look, it's crazy that the old one has more detail. I did not expect that. That really took me by surprise. Alright, so I'm on my phone doing an image search right now. Wow, that's surprising. So I found one image, I think it's an official image, and it looks like the 2 feet are supposed to be in the front, like how this is positioned. And let me take a look at the old classic Grayskull. Alright, so all the images I'm finding so far of the classic Grayskull, it looks like I want to say I don't want to say I'm wrong or right now, but I think this is the feet are arranged correctly on here too. For a second I thought one of these might have been backwards, but it looks like they're both placed as how they're supposed to be, which is really interesting to me. I did not expect it to look like that. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, so I mean, unless I'm wrong, someone correct me in the comments. But so these aren't misassembled, but it's very interesting how on the classic one the 2 feet are in the back, whereas on the new one they're on the front. This is made of a much harder plastic. This is the kind of plastic that can crack. This is a much softer plastic. It feels, you know, it feels like more like something like a play school toy. Yeah, really weird. Didn't expect. This is much bigger, but this is much more detailed. Part of me thinks the reason why, you know, this is the case is, for one, this might be a cost-effective measure. but at the same time, it makes sure that it keeps the classic collectors happy. You know, they don't want to do a one-for-one replica of the old stuff and then make into value, you know, the precious items that are much older in their collection. But I don't know, I was just kind of surprised about that. Really weird. Okay, next up we have the throne. I don't have the original throne on me because it's mounted onto my classic Grayskull, which is in another room. But we could take a look at this up close. It's nice. I like the detail on it. The rigids are nice and crisp. Looks like they have pegs here for the feet, so you can like actually situate the figure and have it, you know, remain stationary without it being knocked around. Not a whole lot of detail on the back. You know, it's more about the front. Okay, we have the ladder here. Okay, so this is the new Origins ladder. It's a lot wider. If you look, the detail's nice. So on the front, the boards have a nice wood grain texture, but on the back, the posts have the texture, but the cross beams here are hollow. And then you can see the rope detail there. Really pretty. Now here's the classic ladder. As you can see, it's a much flimsier plastic. Really narrow. It's void of any texture. It has the ropes around the cross beams. And it has on the one side it has the kind of like pegs. So side-by-side comparison. Let's see if we get both in frame. So, classic from the 80s, Grayskull, and this is the new Origins ladder. Now we have this. This is like that training, sparring kind of deal. So on one side you have the giant fist. On the other side you have a boar's head. You know, if you remember this, it spins around. Now here's the classic one. The one I got, so my Grayskull was secondhand. I purchased that on eBay, and mine, one of the legs was kind of cracked right here. If you look, you can see a crack right there, and it was bent really bad with a really bad stress mark. And I kind of just submerged this in like super hot boiling water. You do that, you run the risk of warping the plastic further, but for me at this point it was kind of like I didn't care because it was pretty damaged as is. But it didn't bend it back in place. The plastic is that much more rigid plastic, so I couldn't bend it back. But it did eliminate most of the stress marking, so it kind of came back to its orange color instead of looking all white and like messed up. And here we have you know, the sparring training doodad that mounts on here. You put this in. Now this one, there's no comparison here. The new one's a lot better. You get this 3D modeled boar head, and it looks awesome. The sculpting's beautiful on it. Let me try to dim the light a little so you can see the detail. Whereas on the old one, it's just like a flat plastic plate on both sides. And the plastic's kind of hollowed out in sections, and over here you have this nice fist. It almost looks like a robot fist, like a giant Optimus Prime kind of looking fist. Whereas on here, you don't even know what the hell this is. But the bottom here does look a little bit better than this one. This almost looks like a eagle talon or a hawk's kind of like talon, or chicken foot or something. Comparison. So we have the new one, the Origins, versus the classic. This new one's really nice. Look at that. Beautiful. Whereas the old one, it definitely shows its age. No comparison whatsoever. Alright, so I'm not sure if I'm going to open this yet. It's kind of a mess where I'm at. I don't want to lose the weapons. So this baggie here is the weapon. No, let's do it anyways. Why not? Yeah, I'm just kind of hesitant to taking all this stuff out because I have like a million things on my desk right now, and I don't want to accidentally lose anything. But for the sake of this video, I'll take everything out. All right, so here's the flag post for the new one. Already, hands down, the Origins flag post wins. My other one's in my, it's with my old Grayskull right now. It's clipped in. This one's so much better. It's nice to actually have a base for the flag post than that stupid clip where you just clip it to the floor. That's awesome. This is awesome. Here's the Sorceress staff. The detail, nice and crisp. Really beautiful. It's a nice white, too. My biggest fear with this white is that it might yellow over time, but we'll see. Only time will tell. And we have the weapons. We have a spear with a blade at the end of it. Laser rifle. I don't know, that kind of blunt mace kind of looking deal. And a spare sword. These weapons, they're very generic looking. But that's alright, And we'll compare them to the weapons from the classic one. I can't remember if when I got this on eBay if the weapon set was complete or not. There's no. I'm not sure. Does the new Grayskull have a shield? I didn't see one in the baggie. Let me check on that real quick. Go onto my phone. Alright, so I don't think the new Grayskull has a shield, unlike the old one. I think, if I'm looking at this image correctly. Alright, so here's let's compare this. This is the classic blade from the original Grayskull versus the new one. I think the old one looks better. I mean, you kind of have some flash here from when it was molded and maybe when it was removed off the sprue. This one's a little bit cleaner, but the detailing on this one's cooler. I like this kind of deal above the handle. Whereas this one, it's not even like a crisp detail. This kind of goes out. So, yeah. Let's compare laser rifles. The new one, old one. New one is much bigger. I like the design of the new one, but the old one's not bad. It's a toss-up. This one, the details and cuts and sculpt are a lot sharper. This one's all right, but I don't know. I mean, here you have this laser rifle has a shaft at the end of it, whereas this is kind of a flat kind of deal. All right, so the original one, here's the shield. No shield for the new one. The original one, here's a pistol that I got. So I got this second hand, so I don't know if I have all the weapons. If I'm missing anything, please let me know in the comments below. So there's a pistol with the original one. Another kind of like axe kind of deal. Alright, so this is what was this? This was a spear, but I think one of the ends was cut off of it. So this is kind of a broken weapon right here. It's missing this top half. It was cut right here. I'm not sure if I did that or if I purchased it like that. Here's another axe, throwing axe. And then we have the mace. Old one definitely wins. The design looks better. This one doesn't look finished. It almost looks like the end of this. It should have looked as cool as this one. You know, there's that little nub at the end, and this one kind of just ends. So this one wins. All right, so I think overall, in terms of the weapons, you get more weapons in the classic Grayskull than the new one. The new one has that awesome flag post, though. That thing is sweet. All right, let's get these bagged up. So if you're still on the fence about whether or not you want to get the new Grayskull, you know, I would suggest if you could find it at retail, you know, if you could find it actually at the store for retail price, you know, pick it up for sure. Right now, for me, anyways, I've been looking at this thing on eBay for like ever since the first one popped up. And initially, those first few weeks, it was super expensive. I still think I'm paid. I mean, this is maybe like a month and a half later since I saw my first one on eBay, and I paid much less than it was 2 weeks ago. I'll leave it at that. But I did pay more for it. And the only reason why I caved in is because I had to, it's for my own sanity. I got tired of going to Walmart's every morning. And Walmart's, I don't know, it's always kind of like, either they'll have new stuff or they won't. It seems like at some Walmarts, putting out the toys isn't a big priority. And to make things worse, all the Walmarts in my area, they never have the same stock as the other ones. So what one Walmart might carry, the other one might not have, and vice versa. It's I don't know, it's kind of a mess. Okay, here's another baggie. Let's cut this one open real quick. Alright, so this is for the new Grayskull. I think this is part of the computer. I mean, it's very computer-y looking. I don't know what it is. For the new one, I think this belongs in the throne room, I think. We'll find out with the instructions. This is a nice detail. So this is the flooring for one of the castle towers. And, you know, instead of giving us a sticker for the flag, they finally gave us this cool thing that can actually hang. So here's the floor, and then this thing, it's really nice. I like that a lot. And it's a great fabric with a nice print on it. This is a beautiful detail. Now, this is one of the nice things about modern engineering is that they can provide you something like this. Very, very impressed with that. That's awesome. All right, we have another baggie here. We have another floor piece. Beautiful wooden texture. I love that wood grain. Some pegs. I believe this is probably for the laser turret. I think. Not 100% sure yet. Another floor piece. And this one's awesome as well because, look, another flag, another banner they give us. So underneath the floor, this banner hangs beautifully. Once again, a beautiful fabric, nice print, and the fact that it can move like that, awesome, awesome, awesome. I believe this is the part of the elevators, the elevator floor. And this is great. Computer. So no longer do we have to worry about, you know, the cardboard cutouts or, you know, this flimsy stickers. This thing is a nice molded piece of plastic. Unfortunately, I know Some people are going to complain because it's that swirly gray silver plastic that, you know, that makes everything look kind of cheap. But the swirlies aren't that bad, and it's cool that there's some paint application on this. So, beautiful, beautiful detail. So I hope you know, if you're still on the fence about this, like I mentioned, if you see this at retail, don't hesitate to buy it. If you can get it for retail price, I think it's a great buy. And lastly, we come to the main event. The big selling point for why a lot of collectors want this, and why a lot of collectors will buy this, and just sell the castle and just keep this one accessory. Or why some horrible people will buy the castle, then return it to Walmart and minus this. Here we are. It's the Sorceress, the exclusive version of the Sorceress. Great figure. Great figure. Now this is, what's it called? This is Dark Sorceress, right? I can't remember. Her wings go out. They're on these like, it's like metal. It's like, I think, dude, I hope this one isn't defective. Yeah, one of my wings isn't going out as far as it should. That's alright though, I can live with that. Alright, so mine, one wing's too tight and one wing's too loose. So, I don't know. I'm afraid to move it too much because I don't want to, like, wreck it if there's something misassembled underneath. Why does this... Yeah, one wing goes down really far. The other one doesn't. I can live with that. Alright, I'm not sure if the camera's catching this because the light might be too bright. I hate the knees on the female figures, how this cuts above the kneecap, and it looks weird. It bothers me so much. Alright, this is a beautiful figure. Go around YouTube because I'm sure someone will do a better job of reviewing this. For me, I'm just like looking at it going, hey, look at that. It seems like I don't know, it's cool that they give you a sorceress, and it's cool that she's in this color scheme, but at the same time, part of me feels gypped. It's kind of like, it's like bare minimum that she's all white, but, you know, this is how she is for this version. Nice. Oh, I hate stickers. This is what I'm dreading doing. So we have the infamous dungeon monster pit. This goes on the back of the chair, the throne. These are the flags. The computer monitor, another computer thing, and the instruction manual. So it shows us how to assemble stuff, where to put the stickers. Man, this is cool. Oh, this is awesome also. My first thought when I saw this, I'm like, I kind of want to photocopy this and blow it up and have it framed. Oh man, that's cool. I'm really excited to put this together. As I mentioned before, I'm not sure if I'm going to actually do an assembly video where I just film myself putting it together, or if I'm just going to assemble it beforehand and just do a plain review. I'd like to try to assemble it on camera, but if I run into issues, you know, I don't want it to be like an hour-long video of this me trying to get the stickers on right. So yeah, that's Grayskull. Today is May 14th. And so tomorrow, I believe, tickets go on sale for PowerCon, and also if you're an attendee, I think you could pre-order the exclusives. And then on the 22nd, if you're a non-attendee, you could pre-order the exclusives. And one of the exclusives that has people excited is this. I believe it's called The Secrets of Grayskull. So this is something to complete your Castle Grayskull. Like, your Grayskull isn't complete unless you have this. They're giving you a actual figure of the robot, or this, you know, if you want to call this the space suit. There's this clear plastic, Spirit of Grayskull, and then here's like like a actual physical 3D version of the dungeon monster pit with a giant tentacle coming out. I believe the price of this is maybe $30, which to me sounds very reasonable. I'm on the fence about pre-ordering it. I just hate pre-ordering stuff because I hate throwing money away and waiting a year to get stuff. But for something like this, and the price is reasonable, I just might cave in and do it. But at the same time, I feel like I'm going to be baited in, and then I'll have to pre-order the other exclusives, and I don't want to spend over $200 altogether. So, I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. But this looks cool. So, up until this point, I haven't assembled Grayskull. I'll do that soon. Whether or not I actually make an assembly video remains to be seen. I'll just figure it out. Maybe I'll put on the stickers first, then I'll do the assembly, which might be easier. Do I recommend Grayskull? 110% yes. If you see it at retail, don't hesitate to buy it. I think that goes without saying. But if you choose to go the route and try to buy it online like I did, just make sure you don't pay too much for it. I'm sure if I waited another month, I'd probably pay a lot less than what I paid. I paid a lot for it, but I didn't pay as much as it was a month ago when they were popping up. The prices then were super ridiculous. The price I found it on eBay for me, I was able to stomach it. I'm like, for me, it was saving money on gas, but more importantly, my sanity. It's embarrassing to say. I mean, I'm a grown man. I shouldn't be stressing out over buying toys, but it's in the current state of the world with where we're at in this global pandemic. I get a lot of pleasure of just being able to sit down in a quiet room after work's done and just fiddle around and look at toys. It's kind of like my quiet go-to place if I want some peace in my life. So, Castle Grayskull is awesome. Definitely pick it up if you see it. And thanks for checking out this video, and expect a third video in the near future. All right, take care.